What's up guys, it's Ark here, back with another Clash Royale video, and in this video we're going to be going over another 12 wins Grand Challenge deck as seen right here. I did get 12 wins, and now this isn't just any one-time 12 win deck. I got 12 wins 3 times in a row with this very deck. Now that's pretty impressive, at least in my opinion. And that's not a zero guys, that's actually a glitch. It's not meant to be there. Yeah. Supercell, fix your game please. That's a glitch, ignore that. So moving on to the very deck, it's this one right here. Now my thought process behind building this deck was that it's basically a very standard giant poison deck, as you may have seen, but I wanted to use the Night Witch obviously, because the Night Witch is one of the strongest cards in the game, if not the strongest. It has really good DPS by itself, and the bats are just insane. They do so much damage, and there are so many of them. And now the Executioner is an interesting choice here. The Executioner and Tornado obviously go really well together. The Tornado by itself can shut down 2 archetypes, which are Minor Poison and Hog Rider, by simply pulling them to the King Tower. And the Executioner is suddenly amazing in this meta because it can just shut down any big Night Witch pushes with the help of the Tornado, because it just provides so much control thanks to that boomerang action of his little weapon act. Really solid deck overall. Whoops, my phone just shut down there for a second. So I'm going to be going over some replays, but before that, let's open the Grand Challenge chest and hopefully we can get something good. So we have 22,000 gold, that's always good. A heal spell, or 2 heal spells, 5 wizards, meh. Goblins, meh. Cannon, meh. Furnace, meh. Goblins, meh. Giant, okay, I'll take the Giant, I like that card. Dart Goblins, I'll take it. Mirror, Ice Spirit, okay. No legendary in this one, unlucky. What epic do we get cards? So again, pretty shit chest. Whatever though, can't really complain. Now moving on to the replays, I'm going to be showing you some matches against 3 different archetypes that are really popular in this meta. So first of all will be a standard giant poison executioner Nado deck. Pretty similar to ours, except the opponent had a miner in his deck and a mega minion as well. So let's see how we pull this one off. And the opponent is a pretty skilled player in my opinion. He has over 120,000 cards won and has a personal best of over 5,500. So let's hop into the replay. Now keep in mind guys, I always mute my opponents immediately, so I don't really type anything until the game is over. So just pardon me for not responding to any good lucks or emotes or anything like that. So starting off, not just an average starting hand. He plays the Giant, so ideally I would want to counter push on the left side with Giant and maybe Night Witch or Graveyard, but since I didn't have any of those in hand, I just went with a Giant Executioner push as well. Now I placed my Executioner a bit in the front because I knew the Giant would overtake it, and then here I Tornado everything because he played a Minor and Poison on my Executioner. Now my Executioner should survive, I assume. Yes, it does. It cleans up the Giant, but the Giant does manage to get a couple of shots off. And meanwhile, I poison his Night Witch. Now, poison is one of the best counters, not exactly the counters, but one of the best spells against the Night Witch. Because not only will it kill the Night Witch if you can get a bit of chip damage on it, but it will also instantaneously kill all the bats just like it kills the skeletons. So overall, a super solid spell in this current meta. So resetting, this time he plays an Executioner in the back. I take advantage of that and I immediately counter push with my Giant Graveyard combo. Now unfortunately my Graveyard placement wasn't the best, but it didn't matter too much in this case. Usually if you place the Graveyard 1 tile to the right, the RNG helps a lot. So here he tries to counter push on my right lane, but I'm able to counter his counter push with my Skeletons and Night Witch, taking very negligible damage. On the left side, I pretty much have to ignore the Mega Minion because I don't have any cheap cards to counter it, and if I did face something like a Tornado or a Night Witch or even Executioner, I would be at a huge deficit. So here, I don't really counter his Executioner, I just use log to cycle to my giant, and then I place my giant to tank for it, because I know that I can build a big counter push off it. And at this point, all I need to do is keep pressuring my opponent, because I already have the left tower in the bag. So here I go with another aggressive graveyard giant push, and my opponent takes so much damage thanks to this. Just see how much work the poison spell is putting in there. It takes out the Night Witch, takes out all the bats, and now I place my Executioner to take care of all of this riffraff coming towards me. The poison by my opponent won't be too useful here. He also tries to minor my Executioner, but I'm able to stop his push quite simply, as you can see. And at this point, the game is pretty much in the bag. I throw out the GG because I know it's over. All I have to do is defend for 15 more seconds, and even if I can't, all I need is another poison and log to take out his right tower, while both my king tower and my left hand crown tower are at pretty high hit points. So I just prepare and drop my Night Witch in the middle, but it is unnecessary, and another GG for us. Now this next match I'm going to be showing you is against this weird new Lava Hound deck. I believe it was showcased on Clash with Ash's channel, so I'm going to show you guys how to beat it on my channel. Isn't that cool? Okay, whatever. So moving on, not the best starting hand again. Ideally I would want the well, I guess it's not the worst starting hand either. At least I don't have 4 spells, right? So yeah, nothing good to play. Usually with this deck, you want your opponent to play something. Now I have no idea what I was thinking right here. I guess I wanted to try and counter push on the left lane, but seeing the tombstone in that deck, I should have known that it was Lava Hound. So right now I just have to go with this push. So yeah, I put a giant in front of the Executioner, and I put Night Witch behind. And at this point my push will do pretty significant damage. I just ignored the Lava Hound because I thought that I could just simply pull it to the king tower with the tornado, but clearly I was not able to pull that off. But meanwhile my giant did do a ton of damage on the left tower. And with this deck, if you can get some good damage off on the enemy tower in the early stages of the game, it becomes super easy to defend, because the Executioner Tornado can stop any big Golem or Lava Hound or Giant or any real pushes coming towards you. The only hard matchup I believe with this deck is Splash Yard, because Splash Yard is super strong against Night Witch and Executioner, especially the Bowler, because the Bowler is like one of the best counters to Executioner. Yeah, so again I go aggressive with my giant graveyard. I want to get as much damage as I can early, because that's where this deck shines the most. And now I pretty much have both towers in the bag, and this is GG at this point. So moving on, I just have to defend this tower. I use my tornado to pull the Night Witch and the baby dragon, but he does get some significant damage off. So at this point all my opponent has to do is go for a 3 crown, because I will definitely win the 2 crown race. So I just have to try my best and defend his pushes. So I place my Executioner in the back, and I place my giant on the left lane to counter push, because I do want to place pressure on him and not allow him to place too many units behind that Lava Hound. So at this point I misplay a bit. I pull his Night Witch into this lane, which was not the best decision by me, but again I'm not too worried. I just play my Executioner to clean everything up again. Now this is where things get a bit sketchy. He does play his Lava Hound and his baby dragon, and then another poison. So I need to get his tower fast. I play my poison, and then I throw out a GG, because I'm pretty confident that this is over. And if the game had lasted even 3-4 more seconds, my opponent would have gotten the 3 crown. But you know, as I say, all calculated, or as the old saying goes, calculated, which this match was. And now finally I'm going to show you a match against this Golem deck, which is probably one of the most popular decks in Grand Challenges and tournaments at this point. This deck this is an Electro Wizard variant. A lot of them carry Mega Minion in them. Let me see if I have a replay of that. That's a defeat that I had against Splash Yard. So yeah, I'm gonna, nah, I'll just show that one. I think this is a more interesting battle. So going into it, again, with this deck, you don't really want to go aggressive at the beginning unless you see your opponent pump up or try and push with a tank. So I just cycled skeletons to try and make my opponent go for a move. And here, as I see him pump up, I immediately go with my giant and night witch, because that combination is impossible to defend when your opponent is using golem. And look at how much value I get with this poison. I get his pump, I get the tower, I get the night witch, I get the skeletons, and I get the electro wizard. So an unbelievable poison from poison value there. And we are able to get the tower in the first 40 seconds of the match, and this is looking pretty good, to say the least. So my opponent at this point doesn't know what to do. I'm assuming he wants to place golem, which he does. So I just chill here for a while. I play my executioner in the back. Ideally, I would want to play my executioner a little after the golem is played, because the golem walks so slowly that my executioner would get to the bridge before the golem does. And that would be a little troublesome for me, because it'll be hard for me to defend. So he doesn't play any support units behind the golem, so this just gives me an opportunity to pull the golem to the right lane. I don't know why, not the right lane, pull the golem to the king tower. I don't know why he was leaking there, but again, not my problem. Here I just play the poison to take out his little push again. I'm able to clean up his witch, his big dragon, his electro wizard. So I don't know why I played my skeletons there. I think I must have thought that the electro wizard had lived, but that's alright. I'm Gucci, and resetting. I'm just waiting for him to pump up, which he does. Now this is a little misplay that I had. My mom called me during this, and I had my graveyard hovered, so I accidentally dropped it there, which I didn't mean to, and then I dropped my giant here to try and salvage that push, and then luckily he drops his night witch, so I'm able to get some value with my poison. Now here he places his golem on the bridge, a pretty popular move which is happening in this meta. So I just tornado his night witch and golem back, and my executioner is able to clean everything up. And knowing that he just dropped his lightning, I'm able to freely drop my night witch. And I use my log to kill the electro wizard, and his night witch will die off by itself. So I think I play my executioner again to tank the baby dragon and kill it. He does play his lightning, but it is too little too late. So I drop out the GG here, because there is no way he can get 560 damage in 10 seconds without a big push, which I won't let him execute. So yeah, that's it for the replays, guys. That was the last battle. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and were able to pick up some tips and tricks for yourself. So if you do choose to try this deck out, be sure to let me know how you did in the comment section, and if you need any specific advice, I'll be happy to help you out. So that's it for the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.